Good afternoon, everybody, and a big welcome to Google Digital Garage. I hope that everybody is well this afternoon, and we're just going to add the deck onto the screen there so that we can welcome you to get started with analytics. So welcome along to the session this afternoon. It's going to be a good one. I hope that you've all had a good weekend and you're ready to do some learning. We're going to be running through this for the next 60 minutes or so, just to ensure that everyone is as comfortable as they possibly can be in terms of becoming data-driven. It's such an important part of your digital marketing journey. Become data-driven, get rid of all of those assumptions. And absolutely make sure that everything is working and you're optimizing your campaigns. There's a lot of good stuff that we're going to be looking at. So my name is Glenn. Good afternoon to you and welcome to this session. So I'm a trainer for Google's free skills training program at Google Digital Garage. I'm an experienced digital skills trainer and I've got a good background in consultancy and marketing. I tutor a digital marketing course at the moment as well. So I've got some good input I think that I can add to the general presentation itself. And I'm looking forward to working with you this afternoon. Now, I'm not on my own. I am with the wonderful Kira, who's in the chat. So if you have a look at your chat function, you will see Kira G with a little blue spanner just by the side of her name. So please do interact and say hello. I can see a few of you have said hello already. So please, everyone, do join in, get involved, let us know your name, who you are, where you're watching from today, and perhaps what your interest in analytics is. Are you actually getting started? Are you on your way? Have you made a start? Let us know kind of where you are in the process and perhaps any experiences that you've actually had with analytics as well. So Kira's an experienced Google Digital Garage coach as well, so ask her lots of questions. Kira will answer most of your questions this afternoon. And we will have a couple of pauses for questions throughout the session where, again, I can get involved if and when necessary, just to answer perhaps some of the wider and bigger questions that might come in. So please be as interactive as you possibly can. We really, really love the interaction. We love getting to know you. You know, we can't see you, but you can see me. So again, it's great to just get a feel for who's there and what's going on. Now, if you are having any difficulties at the moment with sound or with vision, then please do just refresh your browser. That should clear it up for you. It's that age-old adage of if it's not working, just close it down and restart it, especially in the tech sector, it seems. That seems to work wonders. So if you're having any difficulties, close down your browser, restart it again. Also, a good time to mention that this session, what we're about to cover now, will remain live for 24 hours afterwards on the link that you came in on. So please do make a note of that. If you've got a YouTube account, sign into it. That will also help you see the chat if you can't see the chat at the moment as well. Sign into your YouTube account or create one. One of the great things about that is you get the history function, so that everything that you're watching, everything that you've seen, if you leave it halfway through or you want to go back and watch it again, the history function in the library section of your YouTube account is going to help you to do that at a couple of clicks of a button. So really, really convenient and a really, really nice feature. Okay, so I'd like to just let you know that this part, you've probably seen it on the website already, but this session is part of a much broader offering of courses available on the Google Digital Garage website. That's g.co/digital garage. That's g.co/digital garage. And again, I'm sure that Kira will pop that link in the chat for you. So please do sign up for as many webinars as you can possibly want to sign up for. You can sign up for the whole lot. Have a look at the times that are convenient for you. Do that. Again, if you sign up for a webinar more than once, you're going to get more than one trainer's interpretation and overview and experience within that session too. So a really, really great way to learn and consolidate everything that you're putting together. So please do have a look. Again, that's g.co/digital garage. Okay, so now that really is the housekeeping done. Just like to wish you a happy session ahead. And again, please do keep yourselves nice and interactive in the chat. Talk to Kira, let us know what's going on. I can see there. Thank you very much indeed. So Grown Girl, I'm new to digital marketing. Thank you. Megha Patel, you're expanding your knowledge. Okay, this is good. This is really interesting. We've got Safraz, new to digital marketing. We've got Shital Shiran, looking for a career change. Fantastic. Okay, so we've got lots and lots of different reasons why you're here and why this data, this knowledge that we're going to be looking at in a moment is going to be important to you. So again, thank you, and keep sharing any information that you think is relevant. So let's have a look and let's get started on answering some of these questions that we're going to be building with data. So here's the agenda. We're going to be asking the right questions in section 1. Then we're going to be looking at which tools to use. And then we're going to be using the data from Google Analytics as well. It's really, really important. We want to understand how to ask the really important questions about online activity on our website, because then that helps us to build strategies. We can see how we can make sense of the online data to address these questions. And then we want to use that analytics data to understand what it tells us about our business, because that's the key. All of the data is telling and forming a story about our business and our website based on the behavior of all of the visitors that are coming to that website. Now, the right questions to ask are going to be what we're trying to achieve. What questions are we going to need to answer to help us to achieve our goal? Which reports within the analytics suite can help us to find the answers that we need? And then, as we say, in terms of them building a strategy from that, what are the next steps as a result of analyzing that data, coming to a few conclusions, and then setting some goals from there? So this is what we're about to be covering in the session. Now, before we do, I just want to mention a further service that we have available if you're based in the UK and you work for a small business or a charity. G.co/UK mentoring. It's a fantastic service. You get an hour with a mentor talking about the digital challenge as well, really, of your choice. There might be something that comes up in this session today that is going to make you think, I need to know more about that, or that could be really, really useful for my business. So why not think about using the mentoring service as a way to help you achieve some of those goals? I'm part of this program. I think Kira is part of this program. You will essentially have enough time to talk through things on an individual basis. And that's a great, great service to have to help you take another step forward. So give it some thought, G.co/UK mentoring, and maybe see you there. So let's get right into that first question that we were talking about previously. And that is, we need to ask the right questions of the data. We got all of these numbers. It's one of those things that people, when I'm talking to them, perhaps in one-to-ones, will say, there's just so much data, I don't know what to do with it. I don't really know what it all means. Google Analytics does help you to get to the bottom of those questions quite quickly, and it's making itself more and more intuitive as time goes on. It's a good spot to mention, I think, that at the moment, the process that we're going to be working through on this session is based on the universal, the UA analytics model. Now, as probably a few of you are aware, in July of this year, UA, Universal Analytics, is going to be replaced by a thing called Google Analytics 4. That's a total upgrade to the system. Now, there isn't a choice in this. If you are on Universal Analytics, you will need to upgrade to Google Analytics 4. And I would advise you to do that as soon as is possible so that you do not get too much of an interruption to your data flow. As of July, I'm not sure of the date, whether it's the beginning or the end of July at this point, but it's definitely July of this year. Your data will stop flowing from Universal Analytics. There is a step-by-step guide in Universal Analytics to help you to move to GA4, Google Analytics 4, so that you can start to get all of the data flowing through again so that you don't lose or have any interruptions. So that's a process you should probably look up, and the support page will help you to do that. Okay, and again, perhaps Kira wouldn't mind sharing the support page. That would be really, really handy. For Google Analytics and Google Analytics 4, so that people can just start to position themselves in terms of, okay, I'm doing this now, and then I'm going to move to GA4. So if you've opened up a Google Analytics account recently, you're probably on GA4 anyway. So you will be able to make that distinction. But I just thought I'd drop that in right now as we move forward with the module. All right, so we've got a 4-step framework that you can see on the screen. This is good for positioning ourselves, what we're going to be doing today, how we're going to be doing it. So we need to get the right answers by asking the right questions. So we need to firstly understand, what is my objective? What is it I'm trying to achieve? What are my business's objectives? What are my goals? Then we're going to be looking at what questions do we need to address. So that's step 2. The third step is going to be, where do I get that information from? So what report perhaps in Google Analytics is that particular question The data lives somewhere in one of those reports. So whereabouts is it? And we can help you to find that. And what do I do with that information? So then you might start to think, okay, that's an interesting piece of data. I did a campaign, my visitor numbers have gone up, my visitor numbers have gone down. Maybe it was an email newsletter and people have unsubscribed as a result. So it's, what am I doing right? What am I doing well that I'd like to do more of? What is it that's not working that I'd like to do less of? If you start positioning yourself in terms of the flow of things that you're putting onto your website, the campaigns that might be running through from social media into your website, where your visitors are coming from, the countries, the cities, the demographics, then you're going to start to be able to put together a really good picture to help you formulate ongoing successful campaigns. So let's start with question number one, which is, what is my objective? So we do need to think about the business objectives. So here's some common ones here. Again, if you have any different ones that you're working to right now, then drop them into the chat for us. It's good to share and it's good for us to understand where people are at. So we've got 4 examples on the screen right now. And that is, tell people more about my business, or tell more people, about my business. So you want to expand awareness and reach. You want more and more people essentially to know that you exist. It's a very, very common and very much needed goal. The more people that you can make aware that you are here, the more potential customers with a good website and with good services, the more potential you have to engage those people and to get them through and to use you as their preferred service. The second one could be, sell more of my product or service. A very, very common one indeed, as I'm sure you can imagine. You have a product, you have something that you want to sell. So you need to make people aware about your business so they're aware to be in a position to sell. But now you just want to sell more of that product or service by doing good promotions. So you can see how many people, what their journey, how many people are coming through to your website, what their journey has been, and how you can make them do more of the things that you'd like them to do on your website. Another goal could be, identify my most valuable customers. So the people that perhaps are spending or engaging with you the most, to understand perhaps what strategies you can implement to help bring them back again, and again, because they are of high value to you. And the fourth question there is, finding new ways to engage with previous customers. So it's all very well getting people in, getting that transaction, but then you need to look after people and make sure that you are the preferred provider again and again and again. So new ways to engage with previous customers. Is that going to be product updates, changes within the industry that you're working, useful information? Is that offers? What is it that you can start to do to help ensure that your customers come back again and again, and you build that really, really loyal customer base? So we need to define objectives. Again, if you have any different objectives that you might be running or thinking of in relation to your business right now, drop them into the chat for us. We're going to be interested to see those. But you can see, tell more people about my business. People know I'm here. Sell more of my product or service, a fundamental, getting the money in each day, each month. Identify my most valuable customers, because they're the ones I want to nurture and work on to make sure they stay with me. And then keeping them engaged by making sure that you give them continuity of service. There could be many, many other goals, but these are 4 of the ones that we have been brought to our attention the most. So the second thing to look at is, what questions from your data do you need to address? So in order for us to get the right data in the first place, we need to frame the questions correctly. So to those ends, we have here a very, very useful model that we've put into place. It's called the REAN, the Reach, Engage, Activate and Nurture funnel. So each of those applies to a different part of the sales funnel. You may well have heard of similar sales funnels, things like the See, Think, Do and Care, which trace the customer journey right the way through to awareness, which we were talking about, right the way through to transaction and aftercare. Again, See, Think, Do, Care is a good model to perhaps look up in terms of your customer's journey, something that you could do after the session. So for our purposes, Reach, Engage, Activate and Nurture becomes REAN. It gives us a structure to follow in Google Analytics so that we can, again, make sure we're looking at the right pieces of data. So in terms of reach, that's reaching out. Who is my target audience and how do I reach them online? So defining your target audience is absolutely key and crucial in any part of digital marketing. You should be targeting your communications to an ideal customer, a persona that you've built based on the ideal characteristics of your ideal customer, the people that you feel are going to be spending money with you, rather than just being casual lookers, casual observers of your website. Then we've got engage. So are people, when they get to your website, finding the things that keep them interested? Is your website relevant? Are you advertising it correctly? Are you making sure that the messages that are pulling them through to the website, whether that's from search or from social media or whatever platforms that you use, are they giving the customer continuity so that they're finding the right page, staying on that page, engaging with that page, and finding that page relevant and useful? That is very, very important indeed. Next, when they found the thing that they want to find, they found the right place, they found the right products, and they found the right services. So now we need to activate them. Now, what activate means is that they're going to complete an action on your website that's important to you. Now, clearly that is going to be important to them as well, but it's important to you. It's kind of one of the purposes that you put your website there in the first place. So you need to activate those customers to help them to take that preferred action. So are they booking? Are they buying? Are they doing those important things for you? And nurture is, are they coming back? So this is important too. Again, retention of customers, retention of people that you want to see again, and again. So you can see the value of that framework on the screen. Take a picture of the screen, write it down, take your notes, because this is something that we will refer to again, and again. So reach, who's my target audience and how do I reach them online? Engage, are they finding what they need because I am being relevant on the website? Activate them, are they booking? And nurturing them, are they coming back? Some absolutely key elements for you to focus in on. So let's have a look now at some reach questions. So some reach questions, so that are part of the process. How are people finding me online? Is it search engines? Is it social media? Is it through affiliate programs? Is it through campaigns that I'm running, like ads? How are people finding me online? Because then you understand the channel that is bringing most people through to your website. Then we've got, what are my target customers searching for? So what are they actually looking for? What keywords are they using? What keywords are they entering? How am I going to appeal to more of those people, the people that are engaging with exactly the thing that I'm offering? So those are some reach questions for you to consider. Now we're going to move on to some engage questions. So what are people engaging with once they find me online? So they found you, they thought, okay, this website seems relevant. They might be the answer to my challenge, because your website, you need to be the solution to your audience's challenges. So which of my online communications are people engaging with the most? Again, things that you can find out very easily on Google Analytics based on the amount of time that people stay on a particular page, the page depth that they go to, many, many ways to see how people are engaging with your website. So there might be more popular pages, more popular areas of your website than others, which are going to indicate to you that perhaps parts of your website are working better than others, or perhaps have more relevant information on them than others. So engaged questions are about what people are doing once they find you online and how they're navigating your site. Now, activate questions. Very, very important, obviously, for many reasons, but which channels are driving bookings? So are all the people that are coming in through organic search, are they the ones that are going on to buy? Are all the people that are coming through from social media links and backlinks, are they the ones that are tending to actually buy the product in the end? Who is my customer? What's their age, the demographic, what part of the country, what country even are they coming in from? Is there a gender split on that? Is there a particular age group? What's their professions? What are their backgrounds? What are their interests? What are their likes? So then we start to understand the audience more so that we can appeal to them more and more with our campaigns and with actions we take on our website, with blogs we might be building on our website, with information that we're putting on our website that we're updating photos. All of those things are designed to appeal to the ideal target customer. So then we've got some nurture questions. Are my customers talking about my business online? So have they had a good experience? What's the feedback? Are you getting feedback? Are you getting reviews? Because reviews, social proof, are really, really important. Do my customers buy from me again? So are they coming to me once, or are they coming back and saying, this person is providing ongoing value for me, so therefore I'm going to keep them. I'm going to share their information, their website information, with my friends. I'm going to make sure that they're happy because they've made me really happy. I think that is a great way to start to look at the nurture questions and how to keep your customers engaged. Okay, so that's the first section. We've just really put into place the framework, and we're going to expand on that framework and looking at some of the data and some of the questions to ask now. So before we do that, we're going to come through to the first pause for questions. I can see that Kira has been pretty busy in the chat there. So thank you very much indeed to Kira. We've got a question come in. I'm not from Priya. I'm not sure it's a particularly a digital objective, but when we're trying to get more people to volunteer at our local charity, can I say in advance we have little to no marketing monies? Absolutely. In many ways, Priya, the objective is still the same thing. You still want people to take an action, and that action is going to be to volunteer at a local charity. So you have to appeal to them, and with that emotional connection, you have to be able to put out perhaps advertising, organic advertising, or website content, which is going to get people thinking, I'd like to help you with that. You need to demonstrate some of the benefits, maybe some of the bigger benefits that you're giving to society or whatever it is that your charity represents, so that people want to engage with you. They want to become part of that because they can see its importance and its relevance, so that they understand the messages, how perhaps, again, that might have impacted them in their life or people that they know. It's emotional connection is a massive thing in any type of marketing. So again, on that basis, getting people to volunteer, you've got a clear goal there. So that is a very clear goal. You want people to do something. You want them to contact you. You want them to be able to really, really empathize with you and feel like they have something to offer. So you have to be good, I think, there with your communications about drawing out all of the things that will make people feel like, yes, they want to volunteer, and yes, they can be of value to you because they have particular skills and strengths. So I hope that helps. I hope that helps to position perhaps some of the communications that you do want to target, because again, very, very worthy thing to do. It's about appealing on a psychological basis to your particular audience, and then your next goal is to let them see the benefits so that they can enjoy getting involved. Okay, so that's the only question at the moment. Thank you very much indeed, Priya, for that question. I hope that helps. So let's have a look at some of the tools now that we can use to answer some of those REAN questions. So where do we get this information from? We need data now. We've got our questions, so now we need to find the data source. Now, the tools that we can use, you can see on screen. We can get them from our social media. If we've got a social media business account, then you're going to have some very good insights attached to that. All of the major social media channels have really good insight functions on their back end in terms of the settings. You'll see them as dashboards. Organic search, we can use that in order to start to gather information and perhaps some of even the keywords that are being put in to help people to search for businesses like ours. Your website, we can use that, and we can use paid search because, again, we'll be analyzing data and track every click made. So from your website, Google Analytics is a great choice. Paid search, you can link up your Google Ads in and get all of the data back from that and link that with Google Analytics too, so that you can again start to understand perhaps what your return on investment actually is. Now, you can use tools like Hootsuite as well, which pull together social analytics across many, many platforms. Try out a few of these things and see which ones work best for you. So with organic search, for example, you could use Google Search Console, another free tool that is part of Google Analytics, or you can use it separately. that will help you with your Google ranking, help you with keywords that people are using in order to find you. And Google Search Console will also let you know if there's any difficulties with your website in terms of it being indexed by Google. So it's a great alert that there might be something wrong on your website. And of course, think about getting a Google business profile too. Again, some great stats there on a local basis to see how people are finding you. So with social media, you can see that Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of the major platforms are going to have these types of dashboards. They're called insights. You can set them over periods of time. That's a really, really important thing to note. So the page summary you can see on the screen now is set for the last 7 days, but that could be the last 30 days if you work in calendar months, the last quarter, so every 3 months, half yearly, 6 months. You can really play with those dates to look, and you can also do comparisons for 3 months on 3 months, so you could see how the last 3 months compared to the 3 months prior to that. So you can really track then the activity that you've performed in that time, campaigns that you've run during that time, posts you've put up during that time, and you can start to see which ones are resonating more and more with your audience and which ones that might be perhaps slightly off target. That's a good way to evaluate what's working, what your customers like. Look at everything in isolation. That's that post. That's the image that I used. That's the video that I used for that post. Those are the words that I used for that post. That post performed slightly less well than the previous post. I wonder why. Start to ask your customers some questions. All of that can be gathered from some of this data. You can see that you also get an indication of whether in the previous period your stats are going up or down. So page followers has gone up by 9%. You've reached 37% more people than in the previous 7-day period on the screen there. 63% more post engagements. So people have clicked, forwarded, shared, whatever you've asked them to do more than the previous week. So something's working on the week that you're analyzing. There's been 14 video views in that week, June the 22nd till June the 28th. That's a 40% increase on the week before. So you've either added some material, some content up, or you've launched something that now has got people to your site to interact. You can start to make some deductions. Page likes have gone down for some reason. Actions on page have gone up 400%. So you can clearly say that that activity period of June 22nd to June 28th that's on the screen there, you've done something quite important, either to or with your website or to a product launch or something very important to your business has happened that have got more and more people coming through to you during that period. Again, you can then start to compare that to the week before, and you'll start to see a graph that will take you up and down, peaks and troughs. Now, I mentioned before about Google Search Console. This is a fantastic tool. And as it says there in highlighted invaluable information, it is invaluable information that you will get from Google Search Console. It gives you your website ranking in organic search to help you to employ some of that search engine optimization, those SEO techniques to help you rise up the rankings. SEO is a huge topic. And there's a lot of work involved in that to optimize. But again, the internet, doing a search, YouTube can be your friends. How to improve my SEO, how to improve key SEO techniques. If you type those in, you are going to be able to find some pretty useful tips. You could even perhaps do that more for people in your type of business. How to optimize SEO for a florist, how to optimize SEO for a doctor's surgery, for a factory, for a taxi company, whatever it is that you do, there are going to be specific ways to help you to up your SEO, even if that's just on the keyword side of things. So you can see from Google Search Console, you can see where you're ranking. You can see how many clicks your site has had. Again, the amount of people perhaps that are seeing your site in the search results that are then clicking through, there's a percentage there of 2.1%. So you can really start to analyze your performance. You sign up for Google Search Console by linking your website to it. It's completely free to do and can give you some great insights in terms of how you can keep improving your techniques as you move forward. Now, we did look at Google Business Profile. I mentioned that one too. Fantastic. Again, get a free listing. You are able to get a local presence. So it's called local SEO, local search engine optimization. These are the results that come up on the right-hand side of your general search. giving you some photos, giving you an outline of the business, when you're open, when what your opening hours are, how to contact you, links to your website, a map, all really, really great information to help get more people through your door. So I would thoroughly recommend, if you're a business, it doesn't have to be a physical business. It can also be an online service as well, because you just untick a box about your physical location. So you would essentially sign up, get yourself verified, and once you're verified, there's a couple of techniques. We do have a section called Get Yourself Found on with Google Maps, which you can sign up for on the Google Digital Garage site. If you sign up for that session, it will help you understand all of the areas that are involved with a Google business profile, and it gives you that great local presence, and it can get people through to your door because they can actually find you on the map and look at the pin of where you are. Again, if you're not a physical business and you're a service, you can remove that particular pin later on in the process once you've verified who you actually are, and that you can then show yourself in a particular area or region rather than just your address. So again, check that out. That could be pretty useful for a lot of you, I think. Now, Google Analytics, we're going to be covering. It's sign up for free. It's the most popular website analytics tool. There are things like Adobe Analytics too, but again, in terms of market share, Google Analytics has absolutely the highest there. Monitor every click on your site. That's important because you know and understand the behavior of your customers. So let's have a look very quickly now at the second area of questions. I can't see any other questions that have come in, so thank you to Kira for dealing with those. So at the moment then, let's just recap just for a couple of moments. We've looked at the questions, we've looked at the funnel, so we know what it is we want to achieve. We've tried to build some objectives for our business and the data we want to find. So we have to identify the right questions to ask, which we've done. So, again, how are people finding me online was a good example of one of those questions. So remember, you've got the reach, engage, activate, and nurture. So the reach is how many people we're reaching. The engage is what they're doing when they found you. The activate is are they taking your preferred actions on your website? And the nurture is, are people coming back again and again? Am I providing the right customer service and the right ongoing information to keep people engaged with me? So one of the ways that we can start to really answer these most popular questions is to look at the data and look at the data from Google Analytics. So that's what we're going to do now. So we know what we want to ask. We know where the data is. So how do we put the two of those things together? So we're using Google Analytics as our main example from now on. But remember that you use whichever tool is right for your business. So if you're predominantly on a social media platform, then use the insights from that social media platform. There's no right or wrong. It depends on what you're trying to achieve and whether it's for your website, whether it's for your social media profile, whatever it is, whatever platform you're using, just use the insights tool that's right for you. So what do we do with all of the information that we've just put together, all of the information that we have just worked quite hard to understand as well? Well, here's a Google Analytics dashboard. Again, just to remind you that this is the Universal Analytics dashboard as it stands. This will be changing. It'll look slightly different. It looks slightly different now in GA4 as well. Now, hopefully one of the comments that we often get is that you open the dashboard, it just looks a bit overwhelming because there's so much information there. Now, what we're going to do moving forward is just work through, and we'll be able to show you where to locate the information and to use that information to answer some of those business questions that we've just put together. Now, analytics does have its own language. If you don't understand any of the terms that you see when you're going on to Google Analytics, you will see next to all of the main areas a little question mark. That's not there for no reason at all. That's there for a very good reason. If you hover your mouse over that question mark, it's going to tell you what that section's for and what it means. So it's designed very much to help you and to be as intuitive as possible. It's quite difficult to know everything about everything, of course, and about everything, even on the analytics side, is going to be something that is going to take time and commitment to do. But if you need to understand, I just don't understand what that section is for, hover over the little question mark that's going to be in a little red circle, and that will give you a definition of what that particular area of data is about. So that's quite important too. So you can understand lots and lots of things. Discover who your users are by geographic reasons. So you can see at the bottom in the middle, you can see what countries of the world your customers are actually coming from. And you might be able to identify an emerging market maybe for what it is that you're doing. What else can we do? When do your users visit? Now that's a question we get asked a lot as well. Kind of what's the best time of day to post or to update information? Well, you can actually see from the chart, which again, you'll see it's the bottom right-hand corner on the screen there, when are my customers visiting. So those are the times of the day, the days of the week and the times of the day that your website is going to be most popular. The darker the color, the more people have come on at that particular time. So is that time to perhaps be posting from your social media platforms because you know people are online looking for services like yours? You can find the amount of visits that have been made. There is a real-time function on Google Analytics, which tells you how many people are on your site at any given moment in time, which is pretty cool. That will help you understand, again, the flow of traffic, times of day that you're on if you're having a look at that. So there's that and a lot more, which we are going to work through now. So when we're setting up our Google Analytics account, we're going to go to analytics.google.com. So I'll ask Kira to share that link, please. You choose a name for your account and an industry category. Get your industry category as close as you possibly can, because what that does is helps to benchmark you and your performance against other people in the same industry category. So that's fine. That's an interesting one and an important one to have, because it's anonymous data, by the way, that gives you an idea of what your bounce rate is against others. That's bounce rate, again, is essentially a term that's being phased out. That's when people visit a website and then because they don't find anything relevant immediately, they leave very, very quickly indeed. So we've done that. We've chosen industry category. Then we need to find our tracking code, because it's all very well signing up for Google Analytics, but if you don't use the tracking code, then you're not going to get any data out of it. The tracking code allows you to track your site's performance, and you'll need to add the correct tracking code to its pages. I can just see a question that's coming from Catherine Pollard. How do we know which analytics we have? You will see that UA, Universal Analytics, on your Google Analytics dashboard is going to have the UA before it. That means you're on Universal Analytics. That means you need to upgrade to GA4, Google Analytics 4. If it's not got the UA, then you are on the GA4. And you will be able to recognize some different reports. So, for example, one of the reports in GA4 is monetization. So, again, that doesn't exist on the Universal Analytics dashboard at this stage because it's the upgraded version for the data. So again, if you have things like monetization in the main reports, you will then know that you're on Google Analytics 4. On the screen, you can see there the tracking ID is UA 545-16992-1. So again, UA was signified to me that is the Universal Analytics, which at this point would need to be updated. So I hope that helps you just to understand which version that you do have. So you find the tracking code. That's in the admin section, which is the small cog in the left-hand side at the bottom of the page. You then find and click on tracking info, and then you click on tracking code. So you can see that there on the left-hand side. That's how people have got in to find the tracking code. And the tracking code needs to be inserted into every page of your website that you want tracked. So if you work with a website builder like Wix or Squarespace or WordPress, whoever it might be, there will be a guide to help you to implant your tracking code onto whatever website builder you're using. There is going to be instructions for all of those. So find that for your particular website builder, follow the instructions, because you might just need to paste that tracking ID once, and then it applies to all of the pages. But for others, and especially if you're building your own website, but you'd know this already, if you were building your own website, you would then implant that tracking code into each page, every page that you want tracked. If there's not a tracking code in it, it's not going to get tracked. So make sure that that is in place. So every time that a page loads, the tracking code will collect and send updated information about the user's activity. Google Analytics groups this activity into a period of time called a session. So again, a session is a 30-minute period of time where people log onto the site. They might move around your site, they might leave the site. If they come back within that 30-minute period and log on again because they've been doing other research, then they will still be under the same session. So you can start to see how many users are coming onto your site and how many sessions they're actually undertaking. But a session for these purposes is generally going to be 30 minutes of time. After that time, if the same user came back and revisited the site after 30 minutes, then that's going to be a new session. And that's how it works. But again, GA4 is much more focused on events rather than the universal analytics focused on sessions. So that again is something that will be updated as time goes on. So you install the tracking code, as we've mentioned, into your website builder, where you can find the tracking ID, put it in, and then that hopefully will then apply it to all of the pages of your website. Now, the four main areas of reporting that we have, you can see on screen. And this is a very, very, very useful screen indeed to take note of and to use. Again, this is for the universal analytics view. So you have audience, acquisition, behavior, and conversions. So what you will find, for example, in GA4 is that instead of behavior, you've got engagement. It's the same term, just renamed. And conversions would be monetization in GA4. So again, look for those and that will help you to identify what version that you've currently got. But for these purposes, and again, the premise of this does actually work, is look at audience. So the audience report is telling you who is visiting your website. So this is a really handy slide, again, to take some notes from, to understand the term, and thus the report you need to access to find all of that valuable data. So audience, who are they? Acquisition means, how did I acquire them? So how did they find me? That, again, that could be a search engine. That could be through a paid ad. That could be through an affiliate website. That could be through display advertising. That could be through social media links, social media advertising. There could be a number of ways that your audience end up on your website. And acquisition is going to be the report to go to find out what channels, as we saw at the beginning of the session here, where are people coming from? Because I need to understand that, because that way I can then work out what to focus on. If they're coming through all the time from social media, then maybe I'm going to focus a lot more on improving even more my social media channels, because it's clearly somewhere that my audience likes to be. It's important to know with your social media channels, because you don't need all of them. You just need to know the ones that are working for your audience. So you might then start to understand that if you've got 9 different social media channels, for example, you probably only need 2 or 3 of those, because your audience aren't going to be on all 9. They're just not on all 9. They're only on the particular channels that they like, the ones that engage, that talk to them, the ones that they're finding appropriate, which means that you then are able to work on maximizing the effectiveness of those social media channels, rather than wasting your time perhaps on channels that none of your audience are actually on. This is where knowing your audience is so important, because that is going to help you really filter down the important information. So then the next one, we've got behavior. So what are they doing? So what are they clicking on? What are they looking at? How long are they staying there? How long are they staying on those pages? How many pages are they actually visiting before they leave the site? Which pages are people just clicking on and then clicking off of? Again, that bounce rate. In the new GA4, then you're able to look at how far down a page people are actually scrolling. So are they looking at all of the information that you're building for them? It helps you to understand the relevance of the information that you're providing. So behavior is, what are they doing on your site? What pages? What are they clicking on? What actions are they taking? What are they finding important and engaging? Are they clicking on your videos? Are they downloading your white papers? Are they signing up to your newsletter? What are they actually doing when they're on the site. And what are these people worth to me is conversions. So conversions, for many people's purposes, is going to be a sale. So what steps have they taken? Now they come through. Are they buying? Are they taking a long walk through the website and ending up buying? Are they leaving my website altogether and then coming back later, and then they're buying and transacting or signing up, taking essentially something you call a macro conversion, something that's entirely important to you and your site that might even be helping you to pay the bills. It's what you want your customers to do. So this is the really, really important area to look at: audience acquisition, behavior, and conversions. So let's have a look at the data and analytics. The dimension is the what. So the what could be social media, display advertising, paid search, referrals. Are people just typing your address into the URL, into the browser, and finding you that way because they bookmarked you? Lots of different ways. So that's the what. And then the metrics are the numbers. So we can see on the definition there under acquisition that we've had 12,919 users. 7,000 of those have come through organic search. So that means your SEO must be quite good, because they're finding you through organic search. They're typing in a particular service or a need, and you're coming up in their results. Then social media is well down the page, look. So there could be some actions needed from social media because the drop-off is significant in terms of how you're being found. So does that mean your social channels need a bit more work? Of the users, 12,919, 11,139 are new users. So you're getting a good churn of new users in there. So you need to keep them engaged. You need to be working to make sure that they come back to you again and again. So this is how you start to work with the data. So using our framework that you remember from before, our REAN. So how are people finding me online? So that's a reach question. So what we're going to do there is we're going to go through and we're going to go into Google Analytics. We're going to go into the acquisition report that we looked at previously. We're going to then click on all traffic. You can see this on the demonstration on the screen. And then we're going to be clicking on the channels report. So what you will then see on the screen is that organic search is by far the most popular way that people are finding you online, which again hints to me that your SEO, your search engine optimization, is working quite well, because that means that people are typing in your product or service, you're coming up in results for them to find and click through on. Now, referrals from other websites seem to be working quite well. There's quite a lot of people that are directly typing you into the browser as well. You can see number 3 is direct, and social, again, I think could do with some work there. Paid search is doing okay. Affiliates, again, websites that you might be working with in partnership, are sending through a fair number, but not that many. And display advertising isn't really sending through that many people at all. So again, is that a channel that you potentially might think to change? So what we can do that then is evaluate that data, and again, look at 1, 2, and 3 on that page there. Identify which search terms are driving organic traffic because they seem to be working. So from the information that we've gathered from this page, we can start to dig down further. So the search terms that are driving organic traffic, have you got the right keywords? Are you doing keyword research? Are you keeping up to date with keywords? Search Console and Google Trends. Again, if Kira could share Google Trends in the chat, that's really great. Google Trends helps you to understand what people are searching for over long periods of time and how popular a search term is. You could look to improve links from your social media platforms, again, because social media isn't working that well. Then we're going to develop relationships with the referral websites, because again, we could see that referral websites were working quite well for us. So this is the evaluation of the data. These are the steps that we can take, the actions that we can take as a result of looking at the data we've just looked at. So secondly, we now want to look at the engage report. Oh, sorry, the engage part of the framework that we were looking to a report for, which is going to be, what are people engaging with when they find me online? So when people are engaging with you, engagement is behavior. So we're going to go back into Google Analytics. We're going to find the behavior report on the left-hand side. We're then going to find the site content and all pages. What you can see on the screen there is that all of the pages that you have on your website are there. And then you can see in popularity which ones are working and which ones are getting the most people through. So the most popular there is the homepage. That's not unexpected, because generally that is the first page that people will find when they visit your website. Then we've got things like the basket. We've then got other associated pages. You can see the pages that are working. If you get to number 10, why is that page at number 10? Is it expected that it would be at number 10? Or is that a page you would expect to be working a lot better with a lot more visitors? Because if that's the case, then there's something not working with that page. So you might need to fix it, fix the messaging in it, look to see if there's any indexing problems with it via Search Console, and amend that page to make it more popular. Give it a period of time and see if it gains in popularity. So from the information that we can see on that page, the things that we can do with that information is learn, as I've already mentioned, which pages are not getting any views, because we need to work on those and understand why. We can discover what's really engaging to our visitors, because we'll see in the popularity the pages that people just love, that they're spending most time on, that they're spending time clicking around on, that they're watching your videos, reading your blogs on. That will help you to understand that. And we also have discovered from that page that we lose a lot of people at the payment page. So what's wrong with your payment page? If you're losing a lot of people at the payment page, you might be asking for too much information. There might be something wrong. A link might not be working. There might be something that makes the individual clicking through or about to buy feel insecure about doing so. Have you made sure you've got your certificate, your security certificate for HTTPS, with the small padlock to make sure and to show that your site is secure? Sometimes those run out, to make sure that all of those things are up to date. If you're losing people at the payment page, that could be affecting your business fairly seriously. So we need to understand what's doing that and put a fix in quite quickly. So understanding that via Google Analytics is going to help you to address that issue as quickly as possible. So the next question, the next thing we're going to do is, which channel is driving the most bookings? So bookings are sales or engagements that you really, really need to help keep your business sustainable, really. So the activate section is going to do that. So when we're looking at activate, then we are going to look at acquisition again, all traffic, and the channels. So the channels that are coming in. Then what we can do via those popular channels, because we saw that referrals were very, very popular, direct, paid search. We can see on the right-hand side of that example there, the particular channels that are driving the most bookings, because we can see that 7% of those are coming from referral sites. So that's where, on the previous example, we want to build relationships with those referral sites, because the referral sites are not only getting people to come over to our webpage, but they're also getting people to buy. The people from those referral channels are the ones that are actually spending the money. That's really, really interesting. People also who are just typing your bookmark URL into the web browser, or again, it is bookmarked, are also proving to be the people that buy. Paid search is working quite well. It's come down there third, but there's a fair drop off in numbers which you can see under users. And social, again, not performing that brilliantly, but performing a little bit better. So we can see that the people that came in through social, there's been 1,375 of those users, and 1.45% of those have actually converted. So again, that might well mean that we need to up our social media channels for them to be more engaging and to get people more interested at the buying stage. Social media is quite often used as at the awareness stage to get people aware of our business, but there's nothing to stop you from again, in a sequence of advertising of, awareness and background, but you can also put in some of those selling posts and offers that can push people through to your website for them to perform particular action. And then which channel is driving the most bookings? What can we do with the information we've just seen? So identify the referring sites that are really, really working. You can drill down. When you click on referring sites, it will take you down into those referring sites through the click of a button. Anything with a blue on Google Analytics, you can drill down into for another level of data. For referring sites, bringing good quality traffic, can we develop a partnership, something mutual that's going to help us to work with each other and help each other's business out? Because clearly we need to make all of these things mutually beneficial. And then we want to look out for underperforming referring sites and consider reviewing the partnership. So if a site is costing you time and potentially money for partnering with it, and it's not bringing through any customers, maybe it's just not the right platform or the right referring site for your customers. So maybe you think, maybe I don't want that referring site anymore, and I'll concentrate on the ones that are actually working. So again, a really, really useful way to make some really, really useful business decisions. So we're using REAN to ask the right questions. Nurture, we want people to leave reviews. Reviews are social proof. Reviews, rather than me saying, oh, Glenn's really good, and I've loved working with him, it's going to be much better if someone else like you says, Glenn's really good, I really enjoyed his presentation today, he gave me lots of useful information. That means that other people then have a better chance of trusting me and my business, because other people are saying they've had a good experience, that everything went as intended, and that everything from engaging with the website through to buying the product, through to getting that product delivered or getting that service delivered to them has all gone well, and they would recommend. So you can see how crucial it is to gain some of those customer reviews. Now you can, on a custom report here, build an e-commerce and then a custom report. So we can see that e-commerce comes under conversions, and we can have a look at checkout behavior, and then we can see the drop-off rates. And we can see from all of those customers, only 8 people that bought out of 146 left a review. So what do we do to make a better review process? Put that into place as quickly as you possibly can. So as you can see there, get genuine feedback from people we know have bought our products. Talk to them, get them to feedback to you about the good things they experience so that other people can see that. Respond to all reviews, good and bad. Don't ignore the bad reviews, deal with them, take responsibility, and help that customer to restore their faith in you as a product or a service. And then leaving that review, QR codes are a really great way. Maybe at a point of sale, you can get someone to click on a QR code and leave a review. I think the trick there is that the quicker you can get people to leave your review, the better, because we all go out, we go about our day, we live our lives, we forget our experience in some respects, and we kind of lose that impetus to leave a review, even if we've had a great time. So catch people really, really early with reviews. All right, so that's a great deal of information I hope you found very, very useful, and hope you understand more the scope of Google Analytics now. Let's just do the final pause for questions before we do have to finish up. Okay, so do I have multiple GA4 because the Google experts did the process for me? I'm not. If you could expand on that and perhaps get Kira to interact with you on that question, Elle, because I'm not sure you would have one GA4 account built for you. So again, yeah, just interact with Kira on that one, just in case I'm not catching the whole question. There's a good benchmark for bounce rates. Well, you don't want bounce rates. Bounce rates mean essentially, well, so 0 really, it would be effective there, because what you don't want is if people come through to your web page and then they leave it immediately, they haven't found it useful for the thing they were searching on. So if they are the right people, the right audience for your customers, is the messaging on your page correct? Once you start to get the relevancy and make sure that your page is functioning well within a lot of the confines, Google Search Console that we've been looking at, making sure your keywords are right, making sure it's relevant to their journey, then you should lose a lot of that bounce rate. So I hope that helps. An affiliate website is maybe sometimes you might build a relationship with a different website that might backlink you. There might be a commercial agreement because you have similar services that are being made available, where you might see the benefit of working with that other website to help you to get some sales. Sometimes affiliate websites, if they've directed a customer through, if they're promoting your particular service on their website, might have a small commission or a small charge for that customer's conversion. So affiliate websites, you have to make sure that they're pushing people through, the right people for you that are making the purchases that make it worthwhile perhaps for you to give away a small slice of your revenue. And monetization, Catherine Pollard, monetization is in the new GA4. Monetization is the same as we've just seen here for conversions. It's the important actions. It's the conversions that people are taking. Conversion is buying something. It's signing up for an email newsletter. It's taking an important action on a website. So monetization is the GA4 version of conversions that we are looking at today. So thank you very, very much for your time and attention, and for your brilliant questions as well. There's a lot of learning you need to do for Google Analytics, but as you can see, hopefully we've simplified some of that for you, and you just need to work with the data to come to conclusions about your website and how well it's working. That's what it's there for, to help you write the ask the right questions about your business, to get the right answers, and then to think about the changes you need to make as a result of that data. There's lots and lots there to do. There's lots and lots of courses online. Again, look at the Google Digital Garage site and perhaps think about the fundamentals of digital marketing. That's got a great analytics section in it too. That's a 40-hour video learning course. Once you've completed, you get a certification from that, which you can download, which is endorsed by the Open University. So your next steps, I think, are to consider that, to get yourself hooked up to Google Analytics in the first place. If you're not, go on to GA4, start from GA4 afresh. If you're on Universal Analytics, get yourself swapped over and updated to GA4. There is a step-by-step guide on the interface itself that will help you to do that, and it is quite intuitive and easy to use. But if you want a professional to help you with that, again, think about maybe our one-to-one service here. We won't be able to do it for you, but we can certainly point you in the right direction, get you the right support documents to help you do that seamlessly. So take your time about those steps and make sure you do them in a considered way that doesn't interrupt the flow of your business, so that you're happy with the progress that you're being made on a systematic level. So I'm just going to say thank you, as we've just now reached time. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for your input. It has been fantastic. Thank you to Kira for her help in the chat today. And hopefully we'll see you all again soon on another Google Digital Garage live training session. Look forward to see you there. Book up on the g.co/digital garage. Leave us your feedback today, goo.gle/digital garage feedback. We would value your input, and we will see you all soon. So thanks very much indeed, and have a fantastic day. See you later. Bye-bye.